Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Hey everybody, I'm back. It is just after 10 a.m. EST, and the market's actually pretty quiet. I don't know how much day trading opportunities we will see today, but we will go ahead and take a look and see what there is, and we'll also cover a little bit of news, etc. USD JPY right now seems to be where Forex volatility is more or less, and it is grinding down. So I think what we're going to end up seeing in the next few hours is a trade, a long opportunity. So, and it could just be that, the market had made some moves and now it's calming down, and then it will get excited again later. But as the day wears on and you start to approach that New York lunchtime, then everything starts to drop off and get really, really quiet. So we may have to just kind of call it a day at that point. If we can't seem to find any good trades. And not every day is good for day trading. This is just how it is, right? So let's add a little music here, and we'll take a look at the opportunities. I could scalp a little short right here if I really, really wanted to. But I don't think I will. I think I want to wait for the proper opportunity here. Let me just take a look here. If I really want to do something like that. We'll at least get something ready in the case I want to. This might be a little bit of a breakout. The problem that I have is it's so close to wanting to pop up, and it's getting ever closer. So I'm going to hang back. What I'm going to look for is a possible long. Okay, so the trade setup right now, and it might take some minutes, might take a minute or some minutes, and this is what we talked about earlier. So it's just kind of playing out, like we said, is that I want to see possibly this area, may or may not be. I'm looking at the algos more, at least at the same time as structure, but we might see price kind of bottom crawl and then pop up. You might get a little bit of a long right there. And of course, all the algos have to line up and agree, but I think that's what we're going to see. And yeah, I think there's a pretty decent case to be made for such a move. We just have to, see what it does, see if it lines up and does it. So there also might be a look on the Aussie dollar, but that's probably going to take so long that we won't see it in this session. But there might be a bounce on this AUD USD, and where that bounce might be, yeah, relatively where it is right now. So just, it's going to take time for that to form up, though. I don't think it's quite ready. And there might even be some, short scalps on the interim. There might be like an opportunity on the very low time frame for this to pop up here and then catch a move down like that. It's already headed up, so it might be worth a look. We just got to keep an eye on such things. So we're going to look at, rather than the euro today, we'll look at the AUD USD. So I'm going to go ahead and change my other screens to reflect that. Okay. And then we'll fan out here. Go to a 4-panel on the screens that you can't see. That's a 5-panel, that's fine. And we'll just have to kind of monitor that. Yeah. We'll be patient on those. So back to the USD JPY, we'll watch that. Yeah, see, it's continuing down. You might even have an opportunity if there is a breakout downside. But I'm telling you, this thing's probably going to catch and pop back up. And a lot of people are panicking into the short right now, right? So they're seeing this short and like, oh, I got to get it. And it's probably just going to grab and head back up. And if I can catch that move up, I will. So Algo's just got to say, okay. And right now they're not. Right now it's actually looking rather bearish. So the trade might actually be, and it might take a while to form up, but the trade might actually either kind of go down, up, and then catch that short might be the way. Or if it can't break below the current level, then it might be to catch that short a little bit higher. But right now, everything is really bearish on this, like in the midterm. In the midterm, very bearish. So we'll just have to keep watching it, keeping an eye on it. We got a comment here. Let's see what we got. Micko. All right. Well, we'll see what happens in 30 minutes. Unfortunately, the market is pretty tepid at this point. We're not seeing a lot of action. You know, the scalpage is possible. What am I looking at here? Yeah, USD JPY already showing on the 1 minute that it's coming back up, but that could actually also be not the case. We'll just have to play it smart and safe. I'm not trading the NASDAQ. I could take a look at it for you. It's looking like it looked earlier today. It's kind of slowly grinding up right now. So, I mean, this is what I predicted would happen, as you can see. So it's probably just going to follow the prediction. Now, whether or not it flows down like that's another story, but at least in the near term, it's doing what I thought it would do. This is what I drew earlier during our live lab session now. So it seems to be following that pretty strictly. Okay, so let me see. I got this on. I'm going to make sure USD JPY is on my viewer on the other screens, and then I will start to take a look at some news and see what we got going on there. Okay, so USD JPY starting to show. Very good. Let me actually just do this. I'm just organizing my screens up top right now. Might be a possible little scalpy to the downside on this. We'll see how it behaves. So while we're kind of waiting on all that, let's take a look at what's happening on the news. Okay, so Istanbul 2.0, which is probably part of why gold is falling, but mostly gold's probably falling because of the China deal. Crude keeps falling. So crude and gold, that's also going to fall if there's a nuclear deal with Iran. So here's part of our like Philly Fed manufacturing and stuff. Manufacturing declined 0.4% due to decreased production of vehicles and non-durable goods. First decline since October 2024, worse than expected. Upper divisions raised production 1.2% year over year. Biggest rise since October 2022. So year over year is actually good. It's just the monthly look is the month over month is bad on manufacturing. Utility output increased. Mining and energy extraction dropped. Okay, that's just the less factory output. Probably, April factory output probably took a hit for the tariffs and all that. Let's see. Looks like factory output has decreased since 2022. Capacity utilization at factories, potential output fell to 76.8. Peak tariff front running. We'll see. All right. That's some pretty, use the term soft data. Producer prices. This was our data this morning from the news. Interesting. Walmart delivers solid earnings. Usually, so Walmart is a defensive stock. So if you're, when things get hard, people shop at Walmart, like because Walmart's cheap. Um, so that's at least the way it's looked at. And whether or not that really happens is not something I've seen the direct data on, but that's the general. Walmart tends to be a defensive stock. So good earnings on Walmart. Retail surprises to upside. Okay, so there was an upward revision of March to make April look bad. Or not to do that, but it ended up doing it. Building materials rose, sporting goods declined. Okay, not really. I'm not seeing retail sales was a drop. Where's the tariff front running? Motor vehicle sales last month. Okay, so people are front running so what people did was they were buying a lot of stuff, I think, ahead of tariffs because they're afraid prices were going to go up. So I think tariff front running it was pushing consumption a bit. Yeah, markets are just really, really eking along today. We're not really seeing a lot of action in markets, so it might not be the day to trade or to scalp, but it's worth kind of hanging out and looking for a while. Now, we did look into what Powell had said this morning, and I looked on, I had to use AI to gather the data, but essentially he's saying the same thing he's been saying. So everything's data dependent, and we're not going to make a decision until we see the data. Just based on his language today, I would guess that we're not going to see cuts. That's just what I'm going to guess. Anytime expectedly soon. Oh, look, Bitcoin actually moved back down, probably based on Powell talking. So this was based on what would happen. So Bitcoin actually receiving some damage. Gold heading back up. Interesting look. Gold's coming up to an area where it's probably going to want to reject. So it's a high time frame range. Not high time frame, just going back to the all-time high, more or less, back to April. But it's like a midterm range. It's right at the top of it, and it may or may not. It's bullish right now, but I think that bullishness will run out, and it'll run out with price above 3,200 or below 3,200. And I say 3,200 loosely, might be below this area, which is essentially 3,205 or 3,210, or above that area, right? So it's either going to end up in this range or below. There's no other options besides those two, but it's significant because once it gets in this range, it probably wants to stay in that range. If it rejects, or even if it dips up here and then rejects, then price would probably go lower. And I expect gold to go lower. All right, just checking out the charts above. Yeah, everything's moving super slow. Might just be not the day to try to trade right now. But once you have news come out like PPI and Powell talk, and usually there's volatility added to everything. But it might be that the news earlier on Tuesday gave us all the volatility that we're going to see, and everybody's spent. Let's see here. This would have been a nice opportunity, but I wasn't trading at that time. That was yesterday. All right. Yeah, not much lining up today, Mick. It's super quiet today. I might just kill this and not worry about it. At least until, something lines up better. But yeah, it's kind of trash today. Sometimes it's trash. That's life in the big city. Like, not every day is a good day to trade. So this is life. I'm just kind of reviewing some things here. Yeah, this, if anything, it's like micro scalps today, and micro scalps are fine. But yeah, the market's not really giving us anything. And you know what? Here's the thing. So let's do, before we end it, because I think I'm just going to end it today. Before we end it, it's very clear how the market works, right? And this is on the 3-hour chart. So you're even looking on, like, a relatively, like, low time frame. Not, it's not like days or weeks. It's just hours. This is going back to, like, March. So the way the market moves is you get impulses, and then you have ranges, impulses, ranges. Impulse could be up or down, and then a range, right? So some say that like 70% of the market is impulse and not range. That's all relative, but on a given time frame, when you see the ranges happen, then you are going to either trade the range, so the tops and the bottoms, and that takes a lot of like patience, or you wait for the breakouts, right? And if the ranges are on a higher time frame, you can go to lower time frame and trade that volatility. And again, it's all very fractal, but this is how it works. Well, we just had, and this is across markets, we just had a pretty big move due to China news and to CPI, right? So now it's probably going to range for a bit. You might just develop a day or two of range. And you just got to either trade that or wait for it to end. And the volatility drops on those days. So to kind of sit and day trade that, it becomes cumbersome. It's at that point you almost want to just back off and do other stuff that is worth your time, and then wait for the trades to form up and take them as they come. So not a volatile day. So I'll probably just go ahead and end this. If you're watching and you're new to the channel, go ahead into the description. Links in the description. Get your free algo. Give us your email. We will send you immediately. The next page will take you to your algo. And for now, I'm going to end it. If I see a bunch of volatility pop off, I don't mind coming back on. I'm good with that. But for now, I think we'll just go ahead and end it. So, if anything, I'll just be sitting here doing other stuff, micro scalps, more content, something. But thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. You have a good one.